What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we're talking Alien Earth Episode 5, 6. Wait, which episode was it?
6.
6, The Fly. Not to be confused with the movie The Fly, but we'll get into all of that. You don't worry about that now. Settle down. Sorry I confused you. No Jeff Goldblum tonight. But Dave, Doug, how's it going, gentlemen?
Keith, I am fan-freaking-tastic, and I gotta say, I know we'll get into it in a minute, but I think this show is heading the wrong direction. I know I wasn't here the other day to review the last
Just to clarify,
show.
Our show or Alien Earth?
Oh, Alien Earth. Our show
okay.
is always going up. It's always an upward trajectory. But I wasn't here on Sunday to give my review. My only review of that was, man, why does every show have to have a retro
Flashback.
episode right in the middle of the season? Just there's other ways to do it. It's so cliche now. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Doug, how are you doing?
Well, Dave, let me tell you, I'm not so outstanding. Because I think this show is going in the wrong direction.
Our show?
And by this show, I mean our show, not your status quo. I just don't think it's nerdy enough, you guys. I think we need to up the nerdiness. Yeah, we need to up
Get
that
some glasses.
by at least. Yeah, I should wear those like thick Coke bottle glasses. I should get a pocket protector. Do nerds still wear those, or is that like an old 70s thing?
Pocket protectors?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to up the nerdiness to the levels you needed. So let's go for it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to work out a game plan, but while I'm doing that, Keith, sir, how are you?
Gentlemen, I am tremendous. I'm so happy to be talking to you here tonight. And I'm also happy that Tall Guy 0403 resubscribed with Prime. 36 months. Thank you, Tall Guy. We appreciate that.
That's amazing.
Whoever that might
That's
be.
cool.
Yes, we really do appreciate it.
Thicker
But
glasses.
Doug's taking notes. That's good. That's also very nerdy. The more note taken, the better. But should we jump in to episode 6, The Fly? I don't know why I'm so stuck on that.
It's throwing you off because we didn't really get it. We didn't do like a singular episode last time.
That's
we
true.
combined it with Peacemaker, so
I am thrown off
But yeah,
because
we should.
that's episode 4 and this is episode 6. I can't keep track. I'm getting the average. I'm like, it's episode 5 because it's 6 and 4 divided by 2 is 5. Why don't
there
we
you
keep-
go. See, we
It's
didn't have
episode-
enough math in the show. That adds some nerd
Episode-
points.
Episode 3.
3. Good.
That's not even a number. Not yet. Yeah, all right.
All right, but let's talk about The Fly. Once again,
Yes.
for those of you here for Jeff Goldblum, we are not talking the movie The Fly. We're talking about the Alien Earth episode The Fly. It starts out, the Xenomorph is continuing to grow. Wendy is still attempting to talk to it. Nibs undergoes a scientific test. Well, goes under
Nibs.
some testing after her 2 episodes
one way of
ago
putting it.
little thing. And Adam Eanes kind of refuses to wait for more time and says, "Hey, just wipe her memories out from anything prior. Wipe out everything
Yeah.
about the ship and
Before
everything
the
else."
attack, before the ship crash, and this seems exactly like what these rampant corporations without any kind of restraints put into place, no regulation. They're sitting here putting kids' memories into robot bodies and then treating them like assets and tools. They are experiments. They are not thinking of them, except for the 2 doctors, psychologists. They're the only ones that seem to recognize these are still children. These are still human beings that we have uploaded into a robot body.
So let me
and
ask
that
you
they
a
need
question.
more
You say the 2, but Dame was willing to do
She
this.
flipped around real quick when she saw what the punishment would be for speaking back.
Do you
Like,
think she
she
did it
knew,
just
like,
so
look,
she could
I've
be
got
close to them and make sure?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so because she figures if I get fired too, no one will be here to protect the kids.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it
and I
definitely
look at
seemed
that
like
too.
the only ethical consciousness in all of Prodigy was let go that day.
Yeah, and the problem I have with that and with the guy in the script is that guy is they would have I think they would have weeded him out a long time ago in their process as being like non-compliant with what they wanted to do. I don't know how he would have got this far, but at the same time, I'm realizing, it's him and his wife that came up with this whole program, right? They're the ones who came up with the taking the brain and put or the personality and putting it in the body. Are they not?
That I don't
They
know. I
are.
thought. Oh, are they?
He
Okay, I
said
thought it
you
was Boy
can't do this
Cavalier.
without me because I
Yeah.
think it was
Okay,
all
so
him.
that's the reason he's there. That's the only reason he's
Ah.
there. Because there's no way that he would have made it that far if he wasn't the inventor. Because he's been resisting, Kid Charlemagne or whatever his name is, at every turn. He's been like giving him resistance.
Dave,
So
it's
that's
Boy
the part about it.
Cavalier.
Sorry,
Oh,
Boy
gets the
Cavalier.
glasses push was perfect.
And
Actually,
so yeah, Kid Ego or whatever his name is, he, you know, he would have weeded him out by now, but he kept them together as a couple because they're the ones that created it. But I liked his I don't know if you've said it yet, but his second in command for Kid Ego or Kid Brain, um, seems like a perfect character. Like when he's not there, he's just like he's heartless, he's cruel. He's like, all right, you're fired. If you're not gonna do this, you're fired. You're out of here. I still got her. He's very no nonsense. Is he a robot?
You did say in one of our previous episodes that that was kind of a trick that they would do in the earlier movies is they wouldn't tell you which one was the robot, and you ended up finding out like later on.
When they get
So,
torn apart.
yeah. So maybe they're doing it with we know that what's his name is definitely a machine.
Kirsch.
But we could have a secret robot. Ooh.
We could, you're right. And I just thought it was funny that, he basically tells Arthur he's fired and he has to leave by the end of the day. I'm sure nothing bad will happen while he gets his stuff together and gets ready to head off the island.
I love that in this secure facility they don't have like security escorting him around to the places to gather his things. They're kind of just letting him wander around on his own. When I worked at a company many years ago, I worked for a company called Technicolor, and they put together video games, DVDs, and stuff like that. They had when I was let go because they did a huge layoff. They had when I came to pick up my stuff, they had to escort me in with security who knew me. Everybody knew me. I'd worked there for years. They escorted me in, watched what I took, asked me to show them everything I'm grabbing like papers and pens and stuff. And they're asking me to show them, and then they escorted me out. So you're telling me in this secure facility on an island where they're putting kids into robot bodies, they're not gonna put a security guard detail on this dude?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I thought that too.
I mean, I
Why
know
is
they
it
need to
that
do
way?
that for the sake of the show, but that was it's a bit of a stretch.
The security was needed elsewhere.
Yeah, wandering the island aimlessly.
Okay, well,
Which
I guess
comes up
that's all
next.
I needed to hear. That's it. Good enough.
Oh
for
my
me.
God. And oh Jesus, the brother part of the security detail. I'll let you get to it, Keith.
Well, we're not there yet because I was kind of funny. We're starting to see Wendy rebel quite a bit. I mean, she talks about, hey, that's a violate. No, what did she say? Oh, where did it go? Oh, Wendy confronts, accusing her of treating hybrids like objects. She talks about when we're talking about the Xenomorph, she says they didn't ask to come here, kind of saying, oh, they're human exploitation. That's why they're here, not because they asked to be. And then she says, that's not my name when someone calls her Wendy. She's Marcy.
Yeah,
so we're starting to
the
see her completely rebelling against Prodigy.
Now, I was going to ask you this. I'm glad you brought this that facet up. Do you think it is because Boy Cavalier is viewing her more favorably than the other hybrids? He's giving her more leeway, and she's maybe like a kid. Maybe she is trying to see how far she can push.
Probably a little bit. I think it's because she was first, and she does have a little more leeway than some of the others, where the others might get to this point, except for what's his name, who seems like the most immature of them all. I can't think of his name.
The guy who's trying to find someone whose face to put into
No, not him. His buddy.
Oh, his buddy. Okay.
He's like, I just want to play. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm doing something right now. Oh, well, this stinks.
He's perfect for them because they don't want him to age. They don't want him to grow up at all.
They just want them to listen to them and do exactly what they say. And when you put a human mind into that, it's not going to work out the way they want. I think they're starting to find that out in this show. But we do find out, don't find out. Cavalier ends up going to a meeting with Yutani, Wayland Yutani. Morrow is there. But he shows up, no shoes on, putting his feet up on the table. He seems like he is just about as disrespectful to Yutani as you can possibly be, which I know is not going to sit well with them. And then he ends up, he's like, oh my gosh, there's so much destruction. There's so much people being hurt. I need, financial. And they're like, we'll give you $20 billion. And he's like, okay. They're like, okay, when can we get our specimens back? Well,
6 weeks in quarantine.
6 weeks because the protocol for off-world quarantine. And you can just see they're like, oh, he played us, and we are going to find a way to get even with this guy. It was just...
And obviously, they do in the end, obviously. Because he's not there in the other series.
Yes. Prodigy isn't even around, so yeah. I mean, it's basically... Cavalier, it's just buying time to weaponize the specimens. And he knows it. He's like 6 weeks is a lifetime with them in hand. So he knows exactly what he's doing. He, called it out. But it was funny because what's her name? Yutani called him little boy. And he crawled across the table. And when he was doing this, I'm like, God, I would just slap him if I was in that suit. But he totally dominated the meeting. He got exactly what he wanted. He got $20 billion. Yeah. And he got the specimens for as long as he will need to look at them.
See, to me, that character annoys the crap out of me because if he wasn't, I know what they're doing with him. He's had money his whole life. He's never had to answer to anybody. So that's why he acts like that. He acts like a little fool. And I know why he's doing it. I would prefer a different character in that role. A character that's a little more Lex Luthor, a little more serious. It still could come across the right way,
Boy Cavalier?
Yeah. So now when he dies, I don't know if it's going to be on this season or if they have multiple seasons, but eventually he will die on the show, I think. That it'll be like, oh, God, finally that guy's gone. Rather than like, oh, they got to get that guy. It's a different feeling.
Dave, you said that you wish he had acted a bit more like a Lex Luthor type.
Yes.
I'd say he does. From Batman v Superman. I mean, am I wrong?
the least...
No, you're not wrong.
the least like Lex there ever was in a movie.
See, but if you remember like the fact they went the way Boy Cavalier is, because they're just really showing his level of immaturity. Lex Luthor would probably have more safeguards in place. He was just so...
I agree.
Not to pun, but he was so cavalier about sending them to the crash site.
I was waiting for that.
And, I think it works because I think everyone, we talked about it when you weren't here last week, I think people will take great joy, much like Joffrey in Game of Thrones, when he gets what's coming to him. Because when you find out he orchestrated that ship crashing into his city so he could get control of it, he didn't care about anyone who died, property damage. And then he ends up, which we find out in this episode, turning it against Yutani, not only getting $20 billion cash from them for him crashing their ship, but also he gets the specimen for the time. I was like, oh my God, he is just ruthless, immature, and doesn't care about anything.
Yeah. And I like how, did you already sorry, I had to step away. Did you already talk about their meeting?
Yes, yeah.
That's what brought it up.
I love the fact that he pretends and acts like he gives any amount of shit about the citizens of his country or island or whatever, however it works now with the five, since they seem to rule huge like swaths of land. And it's like, first off, I agree with what Dave said. It does seem like he probably came from money. He doesn't, he's never been told no, clearly. He's always just gotten what he wanted. And this is exactly the type of person, this sort of Mark Zuckerberg type individual that, of course, he would have billions and trillions of dollars, buy an entire country, and start a company just so he could put terminally ill children into robots. Like, I mean, that is exactly the type of thing. And then, of course, oh, and then on top of that, I just found out that we've got like deadly aliens that crashed into Earth. Let's experiment on them because, like you said, Keith, he's very cavalier about everything. He's never been told no. He doesn't know that there are rules there for a reason. He's like one of those tech bro types that work fast, break things kind of idea.
I know.
Was it actually was it Steve Jobs that coined that term? I think it was.
Probably.
Work fast break thing?
Yeah, something like that.
They took out Hermit's lung, put the alien inside of it to incubate, and then was like, "Oh, you got to stay here. You're going to owe us a bunch of money for that, artificial lung we gave you to save your life." It's like, no, you took the lung out so you could breed your alien species. I mean, of course, they won't say that. They're just so incredibly unethical, non-caring. The only thing Boy Cavalier cares about is the bottom line. He wants to make money. He wants to have power, and it is scary how much he's willing to do anything to do it. And if he gets it this season, that'll be a fine episode for all of us to enjoy.
Well, we only got 2 left, right? We got 8 this season.
Yeah, 7 and 8. Yep.
So I don't think it'll happen this season.
It probably won't.
I don't.
Probably won't.
Got a little more to play out before that.
I haven't seen how good the ratings are for the show. I hope it's good enough to get a season.
Oh
2.
yeah, I haven't looked into that either.
I saw that like the first show was really rated really high, so I would imagine it went up because all the shows have been pretty much around the same area, standard wise.
Yeah. But while Kirsch is away at the meeting, Tootles is asked to take care of the specimens. Isaac, I'm sorry. And as he's serving them food, he is accidentally locked in the same cage as those 2 fly-like creatures who spread acid all over him and feed on his body. And of course, this all probably could have been stopped if he would have just had the other hybrid come with him. But he was like, no, I got it. I can handle this. I want to show, once again, childlike ignorance. I can handle it.
I'm going to be a special boy, too. I'm going to do the responsible thing. And boy, oh boy.
I had a problem with that scene in that, yeah, okay, he fed the first 2. And then the third one, he had to unlock the door. First of all, yeah, okay, he's a kid. That's why he's unlocking the door. That was a really dumb move.
No, he unlocked the door because he broke the food chute.
Right. But I would have been like, he ain't eating it. I ain't gonna feed him because I'm gonna remain safe.
Yeah, you with your adult brain would have thought about that logically.
Exactly. So I get that he was a kid for that. But what was with the way he went in there? Open the door, set it down, you're out. He didn't need to hold it underneath his chin. He didn't need to spin around to get inside the door. He had to open the door and put it in. Why did he do it that way? I didn't like it.
Because he didn't know how else to do it. It was heavy. It was, who knows. But I love the fact that, first off, the octopus and the sheep, you can shake your head all you want.
That thing is smart.
But, yeah.
It was stupid.
It was eyeballing them, watching them the whole time. That sheep just freaks me out every time because he's always just watching.
Always
and then him bumping the cage to get him...
To get the door to close.
Bouncing up to get the door closed, and just to watch to see what was going on. Hopefully he could escape out of it. I was just like, man, that thing is going to be a problem later on because it is probably the smartest of all of the...
Well, yeah,
I'm starting to think that's the case.
That sheep is just waiting for his opportunity. He's watching everything, and as soon as there's an opening, he's gone.
And we know he can inhabit humans.
With the eyeball, you know what the eyeball actually reminds me of? is sort of like the mushrooms that end up taking over the people in The Last of Us, only smarter. I mean, save for okay, in the last season, the first episode of the last season that we watched, where they were piling on top of each other to keep part of the herd warm underneath the snow. That was kind of smart. But yeah, no, the eyeball monster, very smart, and I am kind of glad that we saw his escape plan in the flashback because now it, makes more sense. Oh, he's plotting his escape. He's done it once. He's going to figure out how to do it this time around too.
He's testing the boundaries of their cages. He knows exactly what he probably needs to do and test to figure out how to get out of there. And
Because he smacked into the tube on the ship and knocked it over. Now he's smacking on the wall. Okay, we'll see how tough this is. We'll see what it's going to take to get out of here. And if I need to, instigate the other monsters, which we already know now from the flashback that they will fight each other. If I have to instigate the other monsters in this lab, I'll do that to get myself out.
Yep, self-preservation.
Do you think his body is still like salvageable?
No. I think they were
because-
showing us in this scene that immortality is not a thing.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
can
that's
die.
what? That was also something that Boy Cavalier has mentioned multiple times. We've created immortality. Yeah, this definitely does fly in the face of that.
It certainly
Because
does.
unless they keep a backup of this kid's memories somewhere, which I don't know how that actually works. I don't know if you could do that. I
Well,
don't
when
know.
they erased Nibs' memory, what did they go back to? Did they go reset her like a factory reset? What did they do? How far back?
I don't think it was
How-
that much. It seems like her memory went up to just before they went on the mission into the ship.
And
Because I
how did
believe
they
she said
control
that we were
before they
all sitting
stopped?
around in the couch in a circle or something.
That's what I'm saying. How they control where they stop the memory?
Uh,
Well, due to
my
the computer brains that they put their memories in, they were able to isolate new memories based on the files and what they.
Yeah, the date on the file.
I mean,
there's probably a
I'm
date
not
on the
sure.
file. You're right.
but I was thinking of it, and again, this is probably just we're all probably interpreting it different, but I assumed it was sort of like a video timeline. Scroll back and forth, cut out the part that you don't want, delete it, and then there we go.
Or the last upgrade, you just go to that day before you upgraded.
I think that'd be more of a downgrade.
But speaking of
Well, for her, it was.
Nibs' memory getting wiped out, for some reason they let Wendy go talk to her.
Yeah, come on. It's like you knew that was going to happen. Wouldn't even need to be Wendy. It could have been anybody. Anybody would have done that. So, again, the scientists knew what they were talking about, and for that dude to say, "Oh, yeah, you should just wipe her memory," zero thought process.
Yep. And she's really upset by all of this, and she she even talks about that's when she was like, because Nibs doesn't remember the crash, she doesn't remember the pregnancy fear, she doesn't remember any of that. And she confronts Sylvia and is basically like, you're treating us like objects, we may be billion-dollar, computer parts as our body, but we are human, and this is really just one more thing that is pushing Wendy, what's her name? Clara?
Marcy.
Marcy, yes. Pushing Marcy away from all of this, which obviously we do see next that Hermit visits Arthur and he's talking about it and he ends up saying, which once again, he's fired. Why he has access to the computer system, I don't know.
Right.
But he's able to turn off the tracking device, show Hermit, here's a code for the boat so you guys can get off, get off the island and all that stuff. And he's like, okay. And of course, Slightly is there and he's like, hey, Joe, can you come with me? I got to show you something. And he's like, I got to go on this thing. He's like, no, you'll really love it. Come with
We
me.
gotta go now.
And anyone who's had a kid has had their kid probably talk to them like that when you're like,
And it's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay, what's
You're
really
gonna show me
going
something
on?
gross.
Yeah.
No.
is there a bucket with water going to fall on my head when I walk over there? I'm not going. But kind of tying this all together. And of course, he's like, oh my God, Tootles is offline. I have to go figure something out, or, I got to go in there and see what's going on. And so Slightly follows him in there. And then while he is trying to get the body out and do all that stuff, he opens up the egg room. And of course, a facehugger jumps on Arthur because he probably won't be missed, because he was fired and supposed to be off the island with no security walking him off. So I was like, okay, I get it. I'm not as brutal about some of this stuff because I'm like, okay, they're getting to this point. Like, I'm not saying this episode was like 9 out of 9 perfect, because there was a lot of those things where like, that didn't really make much sense. And why did they let Wendy talk to Nibs when she obviously was going to figure out very quickly that they did something to her and that was going to set her off? And you can blame it on human error because so much is going on, but it gets us to where we need to go, but it isn't the best writing. They seem to just be jumping
At least,
some hoops.
yeah, at least it's not where they're not just walking you through, like the dialogue is just walking you through the script.
Right.
At least it's not that bad. But, and you're right. I can see where they're going and how they need to get to these places. But again, like you said, they could have been a little more creative with that.
I thought they could have done a better job. But the thing that really I am most intrigued by right now,
Okay.
Kirsch, watching all of this happen on security cameras and not saying a thing.
Not saying anything. Not ringing any alarm bells. Even Boy Cavalier looks back and says, "Hey, is everything all right?"
He's like, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh.
Peachy.
Now,
That's because synthetics are without feeling. He's just all science. He wants to see what's going to happen. He knew what was going to happen. And he's like, all right, now I bet he's thinking, he's got the facehugger on his face. I want to get down there and see what's going to happen. He doesn't care about, like,
this is all just another experiment for him.
Yes, exactly. And he doesn't even have to run it.
to me, it really was like a callback to all of the untrustworthy androids we've seen throughout the Alien franchise. Because even Boy Cavalier is like, Kirsch, what's going on? Nothing. No. I'm like, oh dear God. Which is exactly what this all seems to be leading to exactly what we thought was going to happen. Knowing Prodigy is not around in 2 years when Alien happens in this universe. I mean, they're going to be utterly decimated. I mean, there is no way Yutani, after being humiliated at the bargaining table by Boy Cavalier, Morrow is going there, having these kids who, Wendy feels betrayed. By the way, Tootles is dead. Nibs has had her brain wiped. When she figures it out, she's probably going to be pretty upset, thinking she's pregnant again. The one who's not the favorite, I can never think of her name. I didn't write it down.
Oh gosh, yeah. She was barely in this episode.
Yeah, she was on one scene.
Yeah, she only came when Tootles or Isaac was going to the thing. She's like, "Do you need any help?" He's like, "I'm good." That's the only time we saw her.
Right. Yeah.
I thought she was going to have a much larger role.
I know you already probably talked about this, but I loved the scene with Morrow and Kirsch in the elevator.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
Oh God, that was like probably one of my favorite scenes. Just watching these two, like the oh my gosh, cyborg versus the synth. Yeah. I think that's the terms they use.
It is.
Yep.
Cyborg versus the synth, like just basically talking to each other, like insulting each other over either not being human enough or not being robotic enough or some shit like that.
And threatening each other.
Right, yeah. It's like, this is the future. This is what we're going to have in the future is just varying degrees of, like, robotics, and then they're going to develop robot racism, and you're just going to have some guy in the corner like, Blanker.
Clanker.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is,
your kind ain't like, wanted here.
You got corporate nihilism with, human, alien, it's all just leverage to these people. You got like the synth and you got the android basically threatening to kill each other. Like, I figured you'd want to see the life drain out of an eye, like when you kill it, like a half human thing. It's like, holy cow. And I mean, to me, past all of the little writing hoops they did to get us to this point, I'm still loving all the acting. I'm still kind of loving the theme of this show and how it's filmed, the cinematography. It's just one of those things where every time I'm watching and they put that sheep on screen, like I shiver. That thing freaks me out. It's such intelligence behind it watching everybody. Like, it's not, even when it was fed, it didn't go eat right away. It was just like watching Tootles, like, okay, what's he going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat that later. I want to see what this guy's
This
doing.
is more important.
Yes. And I'm like, oh my God, they've created a new species for this universe that is
The
horrifying.
fly creature. Holy moly's. First off, great design.
Watto.
It's freaky as hell.
It's Watto.
It did.
It
right.
kind of is like a miniature, like pre-evolved Watto, yeah. But no, just the fact that, like, first off, when he was putting its food together, I'm like, is that metal? They have an alien that eats metal. Okay, there's no way that a robot boy feeding this, there's no way this is gonna go wrong. And now I'm thinking back to what you said, Keith, where you said that, Kirsch was watching this go down the entire time, not saying anything. I'm wondering now, do you think he sent him in there on purpose, knowing that something could potentially happen, knowing full well the fact that they've got a metal-eating bug, and it'd be kind of interesting to see what would happen if the boy robot got ate?
You know what I didn't think that at first. You know what my first thought was? He's working for somebody else.
I could see that too.
Kirsch.
Yeah, because his nonchalant attitude towards it all, like, he could literally pick up and go work for any other company, like, working for Yutani or one of the other corporations, and it wouldn't matter anything to him. I think he's just about, hey, as long as I got something to do, I don't really care. Just plug me in every night.
Yeah, he's very that way.
Yeah.
She did. Wendy did mention it during the show that she's like, I'm not human anymore, and I don't think I want to be because humans are emotional. And the doctor said, "Where are you hearing this from?" She heard it from Kirsch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how he is. He's a synth. He doesn't care.
Yep. It's all either the experiment that's going on or just information to him. I didn't even think about that, but you're probably right. Very likely he was like, let's see how Tootles handles this situation, knowing full well it's probably going to go bad because of his immaturity and all of that. So it could just be an experiment to him. And of course, he can't tell Boy Cavalier because, he's like, that's $1 billion machine. But Kirsch doesn't care. What's money to him?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And as Keith and I know from Fallout, those Sith abominations need to be eradicated.
You know that's right.
Man, this was I could tell in the way that this episode looked. They definitely put more of a budget in the previous one, in the flashback episode. It looked more cinematic in its quality, and it did feel like a miniature Alien movie, whereas this one, it felt like they were back to, episode 4, episode 3. It was kind of that, like, lower budget TV, sort of play it by numbers feel to it. I'm not saying I disliked it all the way, but it definitely there was a difference. There was a drop in quality, I could tell.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the show was going good. But there's the way they're telling their story, like I said, it seems like it's, all right, everybody in the fourth or fifth episode seems to throw in a flashback episode. And that, in every series we watch, and that seems to be, all right, somebody's got to come up with something else. Arrow did it great in their first 2 seasons, only flashing back half during the show. They didn't do an entire show that way. That was creative. I like the way they did that. But it's like ever since, I don't know, the first time I saw it, I think was Batman Begins, where they would have start in the middle of the story and then flashback to what you needed to know during that scene, right? And then the next scene it would say, "Oh, that's why he did that." Well,
See,
and now. Go ahead.
I think the difference between like this flashback and this is kind of what Doug and I talked about last week too, instead of like the Acolyte, this actually pushed the story forward. like finding out that Boy Cavalier had a hand in getting the ship to crash and all that stuff, I thought added some weight. And I thought, finding out more about Morrow's decision when initially he looked like just a cold robot. There was reasons he did what he did. And you see the rest of the crew as having some good and some bad. There was a
They're going to say all the aliens, because I think it helped expand all the different creatures. I mean, in all the other alien movies, we know about the Xenomorphs to death. Like, I mean, there's not much more that we can learn about them, but having all of these other species on board, I think that really it definitely expands the universe, the direction of the universe, and also seeing what their capabilities will be in the new location. Because again, like I said about the eyeball monster, watching it, watch everything going on, break itself out of the canister, and then go on the attack. I mean, it was pretty cool.
And it wasn't just the octopus that did it. Those little leeches.
That's
leeches
right.
did the same thing. Like, it figured out to move that thing to be able to get out. And yeah, that's good information. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you, Dave, that it seems to be this new common thing where halfway through the season you have to have a flashback episode. But to me, this felt like an alien movie.
It was one of the few times that it felt fine, like I accepted it, because I was telling Keith in our previous review, when it started and I saw that it was going to be a flashback, I was just like, I cringed. So I'm just like, really? We're doing this again? And my initial thought was, well, I'm going to hate this. And then when I didn't hate it, I was questioning it for like the rest of the night. I'm just like, I don't understand. I shouldn't have liked this episode. Like, everything in me tells me that I should not have liked this, and yet I enjoyed last week's episode.
Well, I'm not saying I didn't like the content of the episode. That was good.
Just the idea that it was a flashback.
Just the flashback is, putting it right there.
Yeah,
right
kind of overusing that. Like, so I wonder then, to avoid this in the future, I'm thinking, like, I wonder what other method they could use to kind of explain that information to us without doing it in a flashback.
You know what they could do? It'd be really effective. Have them, like, sit around a table and just talk about it.
Definitely, for sure.
Okay. Yeah,
or, what they should do is wait until the final episode of the season and then just do it then. Just do it then and have already the cliffhanger in the episode before. That's what they should do.
Oh, my God. People would riot. You get this, like, second to last episode cliffhanger, and then the last episode's just entire flashback.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
They'd be like, no!
Dave is starting Boy Cavalier Studios. Where
See, the experiment. What you don't understand. Here, have a Jolly Rancher.
It was cherry flavored.
I was just gonna say, is it cherry? Okay.
Let me just shove this down your throat. Ooh, I can feel something back there.
Yeah, there's just got to be. There's got to be a better way. Maybe even start there instead of flashing back. I don't know.
I just think the reason they didn't, because we did get some of those scenes, it added to that initial episode.
Yeah,
I did the same as Doug.
definitely.
When I was like, oh, we're getting a flashback. I actually paused it, went upstairs, and like got something to drink, and kind of then I came back down. I'm like, okay. I really like came down thinking, it's a chore. I have to get through this episode. And then I was on the edge of my seat, like, oh, that's cool. That's awesome. We got a bunch of good information. It wasn't like finding out, oh, this Jedi killed himself over what happened, 40 years ago. And what happened? Well, they defended themselves.
Does it matter to the story? No. Did we
need
learn
another
anything we didn't
flashback
already know?
episode?
No.
Oh, man. He defended himself.
Well, they shouldn't have done that.
Sounds like he was really upset about it.
No, okay.
In the chat.
In the Acolyte's defense, we did learn something new. We learned that if you break the concentration of a space witch, that they all die for some reason.
Yep. Never break their concentration.
We do have a comment from Hunter Iggy on YouTube, which is kind of off topic right now, but we'll handle it. If Paramount buys WB Discovery, Do you see James Gunn's universe as safe or canceled? And the owner of Paramount is a fan of James Gunn. I don't know if the owner of Paramount or the people in charge of Paramount are fans of James Gunn. I think with the money that Superman made and the hype that people are having for Peacemaker, for Creature Commandos, Lantern, Supergirl, and stuff like that. I mean, bottom line, anyone running a studio, they're looking to make money. And if they think James Gunn's DCU is the one that'll do it, they'll keep him in charge of DC Studios. If not, they'll do something else. But I saw people online, was it yesterday or today? My God, I've been so busy at work, I can't remember what day. I think it was yesterday. People like, man, if Paramount buys the WB, Paramount just bought the UFC. Zack Snyder is doing a movie about the UFC. Paramount wants to bring back the Snyderverse. That is not ever going to happen. They were definitely going Charlie with his board, but if they don't like James Gunn's version of the DCU, they'll find somebody else. Zack Snyder's universe didn't make money.
Didn't make sense.
Didn't make sense. It just wasn't well written, wasn't well acted, didn't make a whole lot of sense cinematically, and it lost money because they even brought him back. They fired him from Justice League, then brought him back for his own version, which they said was done, but had to pay an extra $40 million or something to finish.
And it certainly didn't make them any money.
Yeah. And I think they're learning from Netflix, who gave him a bunch of money for his Rebel Moon movies, that nobody cares.
No.
I mean, unless it's DC, people don't care. His fans don't care too much about Zack Snyder.
You know, I will say this about his fans. I think what they really care about most, because you see that most of the defense comes when it comes to Superman. I think they care about Henry Cavill, and I just don't know if they know how to express that. If they know how to word that the right way, because and I'll give them this: Henry Cavill is a cool dude, and he's a big ol' nerd, huge Warhammer nerd. We've talked about him, and he's a great dude. I think he had the potential in a better written movie, to play a good Superman, because he's one of those type of nerdy actors that he wants to know everything he can about the character he's getting ready to play. He dove really deep into the Witcher mythos because he wanted to know more about the character he was getting ready to play.
Yep. And he argued with the writers on set about how they were veering off from the material, the source material. I don't know if you saw, Henry Cavill got hurt the other day doing stunts for the Highlander movie. So
I did hear, yeah.
I hope everything's okay, because I'm looking forward. I know nothing about Warhammer, but I'm looking forward to that Warhammer series, only because Henry Cavill loves it so much. So it's obviously a passion project for him, and he's going to put everything into it. So I'm looking forward to it. I know nothing. I don't know if you guys have ever played Warhammer. I never have. I'm looking forward to that series, mainly because of Henry Cavill.
Warhammer is too expensive of a nerdy hobby for me.
Me too.
We're not quite making those YouTube bucks yet, so hurry up and make sure you like and subscribe so we can get into Warhammer.
That's right. It's a little easier. Like, I played a lot of D&D. I only needed one figure for my character, and I could paint and obsess over. I didn't need like an army. So, but looking forward to that. But back to Alien Earth.
Wow, we totally went on a tangent, and then we didn't even do a tangent time.
I know. Yeah. We got really sidetracked. I forget to transition sometimes in OBS. But should we rate this episode, gentlemen?
I think so.
Sure. Yeah, and like for me, the reasons I stated as we went along, I like the show. I like the way it's going. I do like the story. I don't like the way they're telling parts of the story. It just seems like in some spots they're really clever with how they create the situations that pop up. In some spots they're not. I thought him getting locked in the cell, I could see that coming from a mile away. I didn't want to see it coming from a mile away. So it kind of let me down. That's what kind of let me down about this episode. It seemed like everybody made the incorrect decision at every moment. There's just a couple of characters I can't stand when they come on the screen. One of them won't be coming on the screen anymore. He has a hugger on his face.
The guy who was the only voice of ethics within the entire show you hated.
Right, yeah.
Well, you didn't. I don't know if you listened to me earlier, but he in a realistic situation, he wouldn't have made it that far. The only reason he did is because he was the creator. But his wife staying on there, and he looks so hurt by that. Like, oh, we could remove this whole thing, if we just leave together. But they weren't going to let it. Prodigy isn't going to let it go. So she had to stay there so she could monitor what was going to go on. So, that made sense. But it's like the dude did everything he could to get fired. And then, that, of course, led to him getting the facehugger on there, which I don't mind, because then he can't talk. I don't know. I also don't like the brother. He doesn't make much sense to me. Without his character, I think if you erased his character from the show, it wouldn't be any different. I don't think he's adding anything to the show. And when he does do things, it's very, how they say, don't do anything from a position of, not, I don't want to say weakness, but you want to make your choices out of a different position. Like, he seems like he's asking for everything. I don't really know how to express it, but just seems like he's asking for everything rather than like, this is how I'm going to do something. I don't know. And he seems to be the one they beat up on, not the characters, but just the whole plot kind of beats up on him, because he's so disappointed that he can't live with his sister. And then they say, well, if you want her to be your sister, she'll never be your sister. She's a robot. And it just keeps beating him down. I'm just thinking, I don't know. I haven't seen him have any big impact on the story, because not even Wendy is, with him that much. All that being said, all that negativity laid out front, I still like the show. I know that they had to do the things that they did on this show. I just wish they would have done them better. So, and with it being, like you said, the return to the series feel of the format. So, to me, the last two episodes are still kind of going down. And I know what I've rated the shows about a 6.5. I'm not going to go much lower than that. I'm going to give it a 5.5. I still like the way the show is going. I just would hope the writing would be a little bit better.
Yeah, for me, I'm enjoying the show immensely. I really like the themes in it, how they're portraying corporate greed and, the ethics of putting a child's brain into these bodies, expecting them to act like adults, Kirsch's whatever he's doing. But I do agree, some of the details they did to get us to the point, like allowing Wendy to talk to Nibs right after this, she was going to figure it out. There could have been a better way to handle her figuring it out. Now, I, for one, thought I like Arthur as a character. He's the guy who got fired. Because this may be the first time that an ethics question like that has come up in this, because this is a new project for them. And he was just more, much like they said in Jurassic Park, they thought, could they do it, not should they do it. And he was the research mind who's like, we put this together, I bet we can do it. And then it didn't really hit him. Oh, wow, they want me to erase this, what he considers a person's mind, from a bunch of events. And he wouldn't stand for it. And, of course, his wife, who I kind of agree with you guys. At first, I was like, man, that's wrong that she's staying. But she probably did it to make sure that the hybrids get the right care that they need. Because she does care about him. She was very worried about Nibs. When she was saying she's pregnant, she worries about Wendy. Like, they're all pretty much her kids, and she wants to take care of them. But like him having access to the network after he's fired, and like no one around him while he's collecting his things, were only done to push the story forward. But like Dave, even though I didn't like those details, I like where the show is going. I like how everything is kind of coming together, and it seems like, Neverland is going to be just an absolute mayhem in the next couple
that counts for half a
episodes.
sip.
You're right.
You did, didn't you? Oh.
Because we got the octopus, we got the acid flies, we got the things, we got the Facehugger on Arthur being dragged through the things by Slightly. It's just so much going on. This is going to end badly for this island, and we can guess that because we know Prodigy, doesn't last. And it's just interesting to me. I really like these episodes. I enjoyed last week's so much more than this week's episodes. Last week's was, I still think, the best of the series. It felt like a movie. It felt like a movie in the Alien franchise where, they're kind of, these are a little less alien-y, but still good. And I'm going to give this a 7. It was good. They could have done much better, but I'm still liking what they're serving.
I am actually pretty much with Keith on this one, weirdly enough. Like, I say weirdly enough because usually I'm a little closer in range with Dave when it comes to this stuff. And I will say that I did not care for the series the first like 2 episodes. Wasn't really digging it. It was like, it's fine, but I didn't care for it that much. And it was definitely in the beginning for me. I found myself, looking at the phone quite a bit. I was just like, I'm just not really into this. But last week's episode, I enjoyed a bunch. If you guys didn't watch our live stream on that, that's where we were doing a combined episode talking about both Alien Earth and the episode of Peacemaker. So go to our YouTube, check that out, under our live section if you haven't seen it already. But this episode, I did feel like it kind of dropped in quality a little bit. In production wise, in story wise, though, I wasn't mad at it. I kind of liked that it was continuing on now that we have the added information about what happened at the end of the flashback episode, and it's kind of continuing on with the whole like what's going to happen with Nibs now that she's like going around being almost threatening in nature about like, I'm pregnant and you gotta do something about this, and when she's clearly suffering from trauma. And I like that. On one hand, I do kind of like, as Keith told us about Arthur kind of being one of the first empathetic characters that we've seen in this, because in this world where corporations literally rule the countries like a king or a dictator or something. But actually, I guess when you think about it, the first kings probably were essentially just CEOs. I own the farm, I own the food, you all work for me. So I guess it kind of just like we just went back to the past. But the fact that the entire world is run by people like this, it's probably hard to find people that aren't just out for themselves. And so we've got characters like, Hermit, the brother, who he seems like... I kind of go back and forth on him because it seems like he cares about his sister, but I don't know if he actually does, or if he cares about, or if he just likes the idea of caring about his sister, thinking that I have to, like I'm obligated to. Because as soon as he got like a mission with his friends, he was like, okay, I'm gonna, whatever. The robot boy was acting weird, and like they're talking to each other, commenting on it down the hall, but he's just smiling, getting ready to go on a mission, whatever, no big deal. But I kind of like having these characters who buck what I assume is the norm in all of this. And also, I thought it was a little silly, the whole lab thing with, was that Curly? Who was that got eaten?
Oh, it was
Slightly?
Tootles, Isaac.
Tootles. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep all their names straight.
Curly is the one who we couldn't remember earlier.
Right.
That's-
Okay. Oh, yeah, Curly's a girl. Right. Okay. So Tootles. On one hand, I thought it was a little silly, but at the same time, since we knew that the eyeball monster is way smarter than we thought from the flashback episode, I do like that it, was being opportunistic. So I did kind of enjoy that. Also, I mean, come on, we had oh my God, what is the phrase again? The gun. So we saw the tray, that he's going to feed him full of metal. That's kind of your giveaway that, okay, something's about to happen. And like Dave said, you could see it happening a mile away. As soon as they presented the fact that this fly monster eats metal, it's like, okay, well, clearly this kid is going to get eaten. but I still kind of liked the way that it played out. I thought it was clever in a way. I enjoyed it.
The
So,
way the sheep was the cause of him getting trapped, I enjoyed too.
yes. The only thing that I'm still a bit lost on, I don't understand what Morrow is trying to accomplish by getting one of the inhabitants with a facehugger. Like, he wants one of them to get a facehugger stuck on them, but like to what end? Like, is he going to then retrieve it later on when he invades the island, or like
Yeah, he wants to
Yes.
I
get.
just don't.
He wants to harvest it.
Slightly's going to bring it to him.
Yeah.
Slightly's going to bring it to him. How though?
Well, that's the plan. They haven't played it out yet.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like, there seems to be some pieces missing. Like, he's got to step one, get facehugger on person. Step two, step three, I've got an alien, and it's like I think you're missing something, man.
No, he
He's
did
already
say
in
something about getting him somewhere, and he would recover the body.
Yeah, but like I don't know. It's not clear how he plans on making that. Again, he's struggling to get this child to do all of this stuff. He's not a soldier, you know.
All he had to do was threaten his family.
Yeah, literally. But yeah. So overall, other than that, like I really did like this episode. I like that it was we're learning more about the characters. Now, I will say this about the brother character Hermit. I'm kind of with Dave to a point. I do think that for the most part, I think the series it wouldn't change anything if the brother character wasn't there. It could be any nameless soldier that they put into that position that advances the story, because it does seem that he only shows up and only has something to do when it's to push the plot forward, when maybe it feels like they're a bit stuck or something. I was watching a documentary the other night about the making of Columbo. And what they had to do for each episode was they'd get the writers together and they would start with the murder happening, and then they'd have to work backwards to create the episode to figure out how they accomplished the murder and everything. And apparently a lot of writers quit from working on Columbo because it was too hard working backwards like that. But I kind of feel like that's what they're doing with this series with Alien Earth. We already know that Prodigy is going to go away. We already know that, it's going to lead into the other Alien movies and everything like that. But now they've got to work backwards and figure out how all this happened. And I'm kind of here for it, for the most part. I'm getting more invested.
Kind of like Andor.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a good point. It is kind of like Andor. But yes, I enjoyed this episode. All of that to say, I enjoyed this episode. Not as much as the last one. So I'm also going to give this a 7 out of 10.
The one thing I forgot, you know what I did like about this episode? Was when Hermit was on patrol with his buddies. And he's like, "Oh, what do you guys think about like boats
Asking
leaving
the
the island?"
leading
They're like, "Oh,
question.
dude, quit talking to us about trying to escape. We know exactly." I was like, "Good." He wasn't being subtle.
No subtlety at all. Because
I'm like,
he is an idiot.
That was
That's an example of why I don't like that character.
I mean, I get it.
Well,
It's not that I like the character per se. I wonder if he's going to play a bigger role with Marcy escaping and things happening after that. That maybe leads into season 2, because he hasn't been the most fleshed out character. At this point, he's, a medic who kind of works, and he's stuck there. And
now, Keith, you were in the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you knew a person like Hermit that was just an idiot, and you questioned how they passed their ASVAB.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I knew plenty of people like that in the Army, too. It's very fitting that they've got a military character that it's just like, how are you still alive?
Like,
how
even in
have
the
you
scene,
not blown yourself up?
remember the scene
rating-
when the ship first crashed and he's like walking around like, "Wow,
Oh, yeah.
what's going on?"
Yeah.
See, now me with this show overall, I think this could be. I love the plot line, the story so much.
Mhm.
I think if they made those little changes that we were talking about, have a little bit better writing, this could be up in the 9s and 10s, 8s and 9s.
Because it was like, come on, Dave, this isn't quite a 10.
Right.
This is
It's
FX.
not, it could be like just below Penguin level if they did it right. and so far they haven't.
Yeah, without the missteps, this could easily be on the same level as Penguin and Andor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to enjoy this more than I thought I would, and like I said, the last episode it really started to pick things up. The one before that, there were some elements that I liked, but then the flashback episode I really liked. This episode I really liked too. It's growing on me. It took a little bit, but it's growing on me, and
Because,
I am
yeah, the
curious to
workload.
see what's next. I know that we didn't really come up with a whole lot of theories. We're mostly talking about the things that happened and things that we would want to change. But yeah, I mean, I guess the only real what's next that we really have is the fact that we know that obviously Hermit, the brother, is going to do something stupid trying to get him and his sister out of there, even though the sister clearly does not want to leave.
She told
He's
him
going to
as
try
well.
to force her by probably using a shutdown code or something.
Yeah.
Well, and I do think,
Kinda.
what's next is slightly with Arthur with the facehugger on him, trying to get him to Morrow somehow, because Morrow did after the meeting was like, I'll still get him back for those 6 weeks. And he's dead set on doing it. He obviously has a slightly plan. But I don't think that's his only plan. And we do know from the episode prior that Yutani did say, give this man any resources he needs. So I think we're going to see, we just don't know about it yet, how he plans to invade Neverland and get their assets back one way or another.
Now, you mentioned that you think Kirsch could be working for the opposition. Do you think maybe Kirsch works for Yutani and Morrow just doesn't know it?
I don't think he works for Yutani. I think he works for a
Oh.
different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
there's
right.
5 corporations. Yeah, so he could be from one of them.
Dave, I haven't seen the other corporations, and I have object permanence issues, so they don't exist.
As
Oh,
long as you
it's-
don't have bird blindness, we're all right.
I was about to bring that up. Your favorite character on that show.
He was better in the last episode because he was barely there.
He's good in this episode too.
Ugh,
And he might only be in one scene that I remember, but it's pretty good. But hey,
sure
okay,
it's
we're done with Alien Earth, I think. Anyone out in the chat, let us know what your rating is. Obviously, on the Doug scale, 0 to 10, 5 being average. We don't have a lot to talk about. There's just one thing. Not a lot of news and rumors going around that I saw.
really?
Once again, work was busy and I had open houses and college stuff for my daughter. But the only thing that I saw was from Marvel Studios. And I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a little thing going around. It was like a little clip from, I don't even remember where it was from. But it's basically a little doomsday marketing. And it's like a light show, and it kind of turns in, and you see the Avengers logo, the Fantastic Four logo, the X-Men logo, and you see artwork for Doctor Doom in Doomsday. And he's up
Oh.
on the screen. And I, for one, am ecstatic with how he looks. This is how I hoped Doctor Doom would look in the MCU. So if this is what we're getting, Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, Doomsday, I'm happy. I don't know what your thoughts are, gentlemen.
I am not happy with that.
Okay, so we're done. That's it. How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I have a reason. It might not be a good one, but I do have a reason. I have been under the assumption since they announced that they were bringing Robert Downey Jr. back that he wasn't going to be the primary Victor Von Doom. That he was going to just be a variant, and that eventually they were going to be showing us, bringing hiring on an actor that would be the Doom going forward. But now it sounds like, based on if that is the full costume design, it almost sounds like the way they're talking. No, we're locked in. Robert Downey Jr. is now forever the one and only Doom, and I hope that's not the case.
I am with
Yeah,
you.
because he's only supposed to do those 2 movies, and he's he's nearing. I don't know how old he is, but he's getting pretty old. So
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna need a new Doctor Doom to move
But
forward if they want to have him in future projects.
on one hand, just to be both fair and or balanced, I understand that he's an actor. I get that he can play other roles, and I get that we have had multiple actors play different roles in multiple Marvel movies. It's just in the same universe, it's going to be difficult to make it make sense among the other like there's no way that if he removes his mask, one of them's going to be like, "Oh, hey, Tony?" Like, I mean, your face can't, unless they're going to just cake the makeup on to where he's unrecognizable. And somehow, I don't know, and I guess change his voice too. Like, I don't know how you're going to get past that.
He can't have the same quippy sort of attitude that Tony Stark had.
Exactly. So, if they are locking in, if he truly is going to be the Doom, then they're going to have to do a lot of work to not make us see Tony Stark. I don't know another way to phrase that, but
I don't think he's going to be the Doom moving forward post Secret Wars. At least I hope not. I know that.
that's an elaborate costume.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they want to get
I
Doctor
like
Doom
it.
right. They want to get Doctor Doom right. I just
Well, then I want them
don't-
to get the real Doctor Doom right, not his stand-in.
Well, if they get this one right, this variant
So-
of Doom.
so this is practice
hopefully-
for them.
Yeah, this is practice. You know how Marvel Studios is, and I'm sure Disney's putting a lot of pressure after they've had some not so stellar box office. They're like, this has got to hit, and they're bringing back the hits. We know Robert Downey Jr. is back. We've heard a lot of rumors of Chris Evans coming back. Not as many as
I think
as
they're
ScarJo.
misunderstanding.
Yeah.
when it's like bringing back the hits. Like, I mean, it's not just the actors, guys. It's the storytelling.
But see,
I'm not,
one
and
of-
I'm not. I don't need to tell you that. I'm telling Marvel because I know Kevin Feige watches us.
one of the big rumors going
Yes.
around is that post Secret Wars, what's going to happen is basically Kang, with his sacred timeline,
Gonna reset it all.
kept all these universe, like didn't allow any universe where the X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four, and everybody were together. And when that goes bye-bye at the end of Secret Wars, the new sort of, I don't want to call it sacred timeline, but the
Combo
new
universe.
the new MCU is going to be a combo universe where the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and everybody are all together, as they've always had been. And people were saying there's been hints that there's been, they've been kind of together, like when Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness said, "Oh, I remember a band that charted in the '60s by that name or whatever," talking about the Fantastic Four. So it does, if that's true, and Dave's buddy Kevin Feige has said major characters will be recast soon. We could get a recasting post Secret Wars of this new non-sacred timeline with everybody together.
Now that things have kind of petered off, especially after the Infinity Saga, and it seems like they've been struggling to get back to anything like really good, since also they've lost James Gunn to DC. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they reset the universe at this point. Like, I think they're starting to run out of options. There's only so many more stories. Like, I was really hoping for a Young Avengers / Defenders sometime soon, but I don't even. It's like they're dragging their feet with that one. Even though they did the setup, they totally, they couldn't do the Kang storyline anymore because A, their main actor was in court, and then B, the first movie they introduced him in didn't do very well. So it's like, I don't know. I guess at this point, maybe a reset is the best thing they can do. But if they do, this is a challenge going out. I wanna put this challenge out for all of our viewers. Sorry I didn't run this past you guys first, but just kind of came to me. Thought of an idea.
Oh, that's
Get in the
it.
comments. Get in the comments and help us come up with what the MCU should call this new sacred timeline. We just coined combo universe, but I think that could use a bit of workshopping. I don't know. Maybe the Crunchwrap Supreme universe? Get in the comments, let us know, come up with a name, and tell us, is this going to be the Universe Supreme? Come on. Let us know. Get in the comments, give us your ideas. We'll put together a poll maybe.
You know, that
It's
is a
going to
good
be the
question.
ultimate universe.
Oh, Ultimate Universe wouldn't be bad. That's something that's going around in the comics. You know, it may just be, oh, this is the 616 or the 259. You know, they may not even come up with a clever name for it, but just say, hey, this is.
Well, that's why we need to.
Oh, didn't I read that they wanted to make? Somebody said something about 828, making 828 the universe because it was his birthday.
No, that was just for the Fantastic Four, was the
That was
828
just
because
for
it was
that?
Jack Kirby's, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, spoiler alert in the comments on YouTube said the full universe. Yeah, that's definitely what it'll be.
Whole universe. Okay. Oh, when you said spoiler alert, I didn't realize that was the name of the.
Yes, that's the name of the channel. I wasn't about to say something that
Nice.
was a spoiler.
Sorry, I had my tab with Twitch open. I didn't see that in the comment until I flipped back over to YouTube.
So you did see the comment on
Okay.
Twitch. Cheap viewers on steamboospace.com. Remove the space, guys.
That's a good name.
Steamboo?
Do they have access? No, full universe. Do they
Full
have
universe.
access to like 90% of their characters yet?
I mean,
You know what? If they do call it the full universe, then I expect a cringy '90s theme song a la Full House. Got to have some jazz, some piano, you know.
yeah.
See, my roommate was watching the X-Men '97 series here yesterday on his phone as he walked around the house, and I heard the theme. That's how I knew he was watching. And all I could think of was Whitney Houston. I'm your baby tonight. That's what it sounds like to me. Next time you hear it, you're not going to be able to unhear
Yeah, I
it.
know. I'm just thinking. I now hate you because every time I hear X Men,
Yeah, it's gonna be stuck in my head now.
Okay, send your
Sorry.
hate email
Sorry to ruin
to nysqcbs@gmail.com. Dear Dave, why did you do that, you SOB?
Because Whitney Houston can never die.
She'll always be alive in our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do believe that is all we got tonight, gentlemen. Obviously, we'll be back Sunday night talking about Peacemaker, which was episode 3, Need I Say Door?
Gosh, they're only at episode 3? That is wild.
No, it's episode 4. I'm wrong.
I was about to say, I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah. And then by the time that ends, we get something else, right?
Well, we will get Marvel Zombies. Gen V is coming back. And then obviously,
forgot
we're
all
getting
about
Wonder
that.
Man in December. Is there something else? There's something else coming out, I thought.
Yeah, I thought there was another. I know we got a couple of movies that might not normally be in our wheelhouse, but it'd be fun to see them.
I think we said we were going to go see the Avatar movie, right?
I do, yes. Fire and Ash
Okay.
or whatever. And I do think we'll see the Predator movie, Badlands.
That I do want to see. That sounds good. And then
It's
I feel like now that we've been reviewing Alien Earth, I feel like Predator would be in our wheelhouse at this
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
we
think
saw the
so.
one Predator movie, which was terrible.
I mean, okay. If we went and saw the Terminator movies, I think we can watch a Predator movie,
Yeah. Have you
especially
guys
one that
watched-
does look good.
Have you guys watched Killer of Killers yet?
Oh no,
What's that?
I've been meaning to.
Watch it. I think you guys will both
Okay.
enjoy it. It's really well done. And
All right.
it really has me fired up. Like after Prey was so good.
Mhm.
And then
It
Killer
was.
of Killers, I was a little hesitant. I don't know why, but I enjoyed it. And I'm hoping Badlands goes down that same line. But, speaking, the other thing, obviously we got Gen V coming up. We got Marvel Zombies coming up. And then obviously in December we got Wonder Man, which I know you guys are all, deeply invested. And, we just finished up Days of Future Past on back issue breakdowns. So if you're out there on YouTube and you're watching, go to our short section. We've got like 93 back issue breakdown shorts talking about certain comics. We just did X-Men Uncanny X-Men 141 and 142, which is Days of Future Past. And I believe now is the right time. Strike while the iron is hot, as they say somewhere. Probably in the iron smashing business or the tie iron something. I don't know, but strike while the iron is hot. Maybe blacksmiths. I don't know. I don't know where they get that phrase from, but I wanted to use it because it sounded cool. We are going to be starting our Wonder Man centric back issue breakdowns. We're going with Avengers #9, the first appearance of Wonder Man. We'll probably do Avengers 161.
Wait, you haven't done any Wonder Man back issue breakdowns yet?
Not
He's been
one.
waiting.
Like your favorite character, you haven't done any?
No, I've been waiting for the show.
Have you at least done an In Focus?
Yeah, we have an In Focus on
Wonder
Man
Good.
Grim Reaper.
And where can I find this In Focus?
All on our YouTube channel, sir.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
nice. Okay, good. Oh, and you put a link there too?
I did. I'm
Thank
so
you.
nice. Yes.
And if you're
Excited.
watching us on YouTube right now, just stay here and go searching through our videos.
Yeah, search for our videos. And I've even been thinking about doing new In Focus shorts for Wonder Man, the Grim Reaper, characters coming to the show, because one of my all-time favorites, you know what? We got some time.
Okay.
One of the back issue breakdowns I'm going to do. Let me find the picture of the cover.
Okay.
Talked about Grim Reaper during WandaVision.
We did. Yeah, oh man, we were all over the place with our theories on WandaVision. We really thought there was going to be so many big named characters showing up in that. In fact, I think, if I remember right, I'm trying to go back into our Not Your Status Quo history, but I'm pretty sure WandaVision was where we came up with the idea of doing In Focuses, wasn't it?
It was, and what's next? Yep.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was because we couldn't compete with all of the other big Easter egg channels. So we're like, okay, rather than just talk about what happened, we're going to talk about what's going to happen.
Yep, and then Ryan Eerie stole it, and then
Allegedly
stole it, which we got proof. I mean, we did it before he did.
You know what you did, Ryan Airy.
Don't even get me started on the new rock stars.
I don't mind the new rock stars too much. They're okay. Screen Crush, I kind of gotten bored with. I don't really watch them.
I don't actually have a problem with new rock stars. I was just trying to be funny.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what did he do? Because honestly, I've been staying away from most of those channels lately because I'm not watching things as soon as they are.
Yeah.
Plus,
Anyway,
I don't want
sorry.
them to taint my thoughts for our video.
Same. We need to have our own unique, original thoughts
That's right.
and better thoughts than all of them.
We have
So
to be better.
this next thing you're going to see is Avengers 160. This is the comic that made me start loving Wonder Man when I was a kid. This is one of the comics. I think I had this one, and it is basically, for those of you that aren't familiar too much with Wonder Man's history, Avengers #9, Baron Zemo gave him his powers. You'll see this on the back issue breakdown. And he ended up dying at the end of it. Later on in the comics, they used his brain patterns and put it in the Vision. And that guy standing over him with the scythe is the Grim Reaper, who is Simon Williams' brother's Eric. And he hated the Vision because he had his brother's brain pattern, and he didn't believe that Wonder Man was really his brother. So he kind of hated both of these characters until much later on he found out. But just this cover, George Perez cover from Avengers 160, I would just stare at this for hours on end. This will be a back issue breakdown coming up soon. I'm going to do some of Wonder Man history throughout the ages. I'm going to do his first appearance. I'm definitely going to do this with the Grim Reaper with him. Probably the West Coast Avengers limited series where he joins the West Coast Avengers. Definitely some Burn West Coast or Avengers West Coast by that time. A whole lot planned. We're going to have its own little playlist with just Wonder Man back issue breakdowns. Excitement personified from everybody. I know this is probably going to be our huge break. We're going to have millions and millions of subscribers and views after this. So, like us now.
Become TikTok partners or whatever.
That's right. We'll get our 10,000 followers and all those views, and we'll be raking in money. I will be known as the man who brought Wonder Man into the forefront and the most loved and cared for comic book superhero in the comics and in live action ever. So a lot's going on. So it's all good, right?
Throughout the ages to come, future people will look at this moment and remember that Keith Richter brought this forward.
Oh boy.
And family members who shall remain nameless, who refer to Wonder Man as the Flying Hillbilly, will be forced to stop calling him that.
I need to know. You're gonna have to tell us after which one of the. But Dave, we got to have a plan of action in place, because Keith, he's doing what we've been saying we can't do before we go see a movie. He is getting way too hyped, and his expectations are way too high. And when he falls, Dave, he's gonna fall hard. We've got to have a plan in place of how we're gonna pick up the pieces when Keith just crashes.
Can the plan be tons of alcohol?
Me and sent the script over to Fiji. Right?
Oh, he wrote the script himself. Okay.
Yeah, he bypassed me and sent it himself. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be fine. Plenty of alcohol if things go bad. Maybe some edibles. We'll see. We don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, you heard it. After Wonder Man crashes completely and is like the worst show on Disney Plus, we're just gonna do a stream where we're doing edibles the entire time.
Oh wait, did I see that they're releasing all the episodes on the same date? That can't be good.
They are not. Take that back. You know what? We are not spreading misinformation on this channel. Wonder Man has already been declared greatest Disney Plus MCU show of all time.
I don't know, Keith. I think I saw somewhere that they're actually doing reshoots now because they did a preview and the audiences hated it.
No, you misread. The audience were so blown away that they gave up all of their possessions. They went to live in a desert.
They formed a cult around Wonder Man.
They had seen peak and just didn't need anything else ever again. So they had to.
They needed to start all over. They needed to start the whole civilization over again. That was it.
They're gonna erect a statue in the name of Wonder Man with Keith next to it.
Keith will be standing there with his fire extinguisher.
Oh, yeah, of course. So he's gonna be like, I don't always carry around a fire extinguisher. I don't know. We looked it up on Google, and it appears you do.
I'll still never forget. At work, we were doing a video about one of the builds, and the build didn't work out. So the one guy's like, "Keith, go grab a fire extinguisher and pretend like you're putting the build out for the video." And I walked out and I grabbed a fire extinguisher. And my boss's boss saw this, and as I'm walking back in the room, he just walks over to me and he's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's just a funny bit for the news." And he's like, "Okay." He just walked away, and I'm like, "That was he believed me way too easily. I could believe anything here."
This building could be burning down. He doesn't know.
All right. Well, gentlemen, should we find somebody to raid?
I believe we should. Let's see. I am seeing Sari Jane with only 43. I see Spice of Life with 4. Lara Loopsy with 3.
Yeah.
Cosmonaut Variety Hour is on. Yeah, I'm good with any of them. What do you guys think?
T-Pain.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Hold on, check
wow,
viewers.
weird.
Yeah.
He must have just started because he only has 238. Weird.
He just started.
Yeah. Dave, what are you feeling?
Well, the only one I have that you don't is grad plus 2, and I don't even know what that is.
Oh, I've got that one too, but I don't know who that is either.
Oh, that's one of Sierra's friends. And it grad plus 3 or 2. They're just playing with other people.
Oh, I see. Yeah, live with Lamp and Normalize. Huh.
I love Lamb. Tiny Valkyr just came on.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Laura Loopsy seems fine to me. She seems like a channel favorite.
Okay.
We have not rated her in a while. Let's do it, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Let's.
All right, I'm down with that. For those of you out there wondering, say, what are those handsome nerds talking about with this rating nonsense? It must be some new handsome nerd slang that they're talking about. Yeah, you're right, it is. Only the elite, best of the nerds raid other Twitch channels. But I'll go ahead and I'll invite you in on what the joke. We'll keep it an inside thing. So what it means is we take all of our other handsome and beautiful nerds that are out there watching us on Twitch, and we gently carry them in a lovely nerdy basket over to another channel, and we kind of keep the nerd party going. Now, there is nothing quite nearly as easy and seamless on YouTube. So in the meantime, if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, like we said, comment down below. And we'll see you next time, right here, on Not Your Status Quo. Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.